Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Let's all become heroes. So, there's so much to consider for this upcoming journey to be successful. Obviously, I started the fitness training immediately to ensure my safety and capabilities before walking 1,400 miles through the wilderness. But there is still so much more to consider. I mean, let's be honest. What will I be needing to survive this trip? I don't sleep much anymore because my mind is constantly working on my preparedness. That, and I probably got plenty of sleep in the last 3 years. I'm giving up on society and I'm choosing to be homeless for the next several months, perhaps even longer. As I will do so until we have successfully changed the way things are, the way of the world, influenced by the money scam. Going forward, I'd like to ask of you, before you stereotype a homeless person as being a failure, or addict, or worthless, or whatever it is, consider this. I'm choosing to be homeless rather than partake in a godless society. Now, I actually still have family alive supporting my decision, but take a second to consider the intelligent people that don't have the luxury of such a safety net. Hopefully, by witnessing my epic transformation on this radical journey, you will come to understand my perception of homelessness and witness my survival. In doing so, perhaps your perception will change as a witness to my testimony. Either way, I'm sure it will be entertaining to watch me put myself through hell, and for the greater good. I want to end homelessness everywhere. I want to rewrite recovery and rehabilitation programs around the globe. But first, I better be 1,000% prepared to survive the wilderness myself. So check out what I've done so far. Thanks, Team Heroes. Truth and love equals peace. Now let's get it done.
Man, is it frustrating when you don't know how to work your equipment. Take two. All right, guys, so I just wanted to go through and show you all the different gear that I've got, all the supplies that I've organized, about 90% complete with, I think, with everything that I'm going to need for this trip. 1,400 miles, Prescott Valley, Kansas City, then to Des Moines. So, obviously, your basic camping gear. I've got a tent, 4-person tent. I believe my buddy Sopin's bringing an extra tent. If I do actually come across anybody that wants to travel with me or just needs a little bit of help, I'm planning on giving my tent away. That way I can give Pin's tent back to him when I'm done. I've got a sleeping bag. Sleeping bag that I got is supposed to be for winter. It actually says that it can tolerate temperatures as low as 18 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm hoping that it's flannel. It has flannel in the inside, so hopefully that keeps me warm. When I first saw that and how small it was, I was a little bit worried, but it is what it is. I've got a travel hammock, so if it's maybe just a quick little nap, a quick little stop, I can tie this between 2 trees and just take a little nap. Maybe put my wagon underneath me or whatever that looks like. Some of this stuff, guys, you're probably looking at, as you can see, this is actual organized chaos. But if you can actually see, I've got a stack of books there. A lot of people are probably thinking, what in the heck does he need a guitar for, as far as surviving out in the wild goes? But one of the biggest things and the biggest reasons that I'm doing all of this is it's for my transformation. I'm forcing myself to do things that I've always wanted to do to improve myself, to improve my mental health. So I struggle with, I've gained a lot of weight. I've gained 80 pounds since COVID happened in 2020. I struggle with mental health on a daily basis, depression, anxiety. When I was in rehab in 18, we talked about codependency and possibly being borderline personality disorder. All those things, instead of trying to figure out how to get rid of them, I'm going to figure out how to embrace them and get a better understanding of who I am and still pursue the dreams that I want to have. This handy dandy pack, instead of having a big hiking pack on my back, I'm just going to have a lightweight bag here. This will have emergency stuff like first aid, some like random first aid. I'm going to have a whole nother complete first aid kit that I'll be bringing along, but just like basic bandages or elastic or anything to maybe secure an ankle if I sprain an ankle. I'll also have electrolytes, protein bars, and then my battery packs and both cell phones. The cell phones I'm using are for the camera work, so that's key that that all stays charged up. And part of the journey, whenever I do get to campsites, I'll have my generator. This is a little tiny battery powered generator, which I'm gonna open up and put to the test to see what we look like. I have battery packs. I have this one, and then my buddy Sopen is also going to bring me one of his battery packs, as well as a solar panel to try to help me keep everything charged up. That's obviously going to be a key ingredient for me to get everything filmed and documented, so I can actually put this and stream it onto the YouTube channel so everybody can follow along and see my progress, my transformation. Some of this other stuff, I've also got a laptop. Forgot the laptop's part of the electronics. And the purpose of the laptop is I want to be a writer. So I'm going to be blogging. I'm going to be using the laptop to transfer videos if necessary from one phone to another. One of the phones that I have does not have service, so if I'm unable to get Wi-Fi, the laptop's going to come in handy for me transferring data. So phone videos, photos, whatever that is, from one phone to another. So I can actually use the phone that has service to go through the different software and the apps that I have to generate and create these videos. And let's see, I'll go around in a circle over here. We'll get to the guitar in just a second. Oh, before I forget, suitcase. So I've got one large suitcase, which will just have my basic change of clothes. I'm sure I'm gonna be sweating a lot walking 1,400 miles. So I'll probably have like dirty bag sacks or whatever for whatever I sweat through and I need to get to the wash. But I'll also have different change of gear in there, as well as a smaller suitcase. It's actually inside that suitcase right now. And in the smaller suitcase, I'm actually gonna have all my props. So I said that I have most of my stuff here. Some key ingredients that I'm missing so far. I'm developing characters to make it more fun for you guys. So I've got costumes that are arriving any day now. And those costumes are gonna fit into the smaller suitcase. Let's see, I also have a chair. So just in case, whatever, injury or just, need to hydrate or get some more nutrition or whatever that looks like. If there's not a place to rest, I've got a chair so I can stop along the way. It'd also be handy to have at the campsite when I'm trying to learn how to play this bad boy. So I'm bringing a guitar. I do not know how to play a guitar. I've wanted to learn how to play the guitar for most of my life, at least all of my adult life. And I've always, I struggle with not being able to play it. Like I can't grind through the lessons. I'd rather just turn on the TV and push things off. So now being out in the wilderness, I'm going to force myself to do things that for whatever reason I don't do, like read books. If you want to be a great writer, you better have read a lot of books. And so I got all these books starting in COVID when I was really I kind of started this transformation in 2020. Even though I was gaining all this weight and everything, I was like, man, I really want to pursue myself. I want to pursue something. I don't want to work for a corporation anymore. I'd like to figure out what makes me happy and do that. And I've always wanted to be a writer, and I'm going to push the pen on that. So more about that in just a second. I've also got 2 pillows, an extra blanket. This blanket is a king size blanket. I'm actually bringing pretty much to kind of layer, make a floor in the tent underneath the sleeping bag for insulation. Hopefully keep me a little bit warm. It's also an extra blanket in case I get cold. This is my first aid kit that I've got started so far. My mom actually helped me out with some of that stuff. Duct tape, everybody, you never know. This fixes everything. So I've got the duct tape. I might be taping my ankles up with duct tape. You just don't know yet. I got some rope. I'm sure I'll be getting more rope. This is actually 40 feet, so we'll see. I got bungee cords. One thing that's not pictured right here is my tarp. So I'm gonna have at least one 8x10 tarp, possibly a 4x6 as well, to go underneath. Don't want anything splashing, as obviously some of this stuff cannot get wet. So I've got bungee cords to kind of strap the tarp over all this stuff that's gonna fit into my wagon. I'm excited to show you the wagon. I'm actually gonna build the wagon for you in a little bit. Let's see, I've got my other phone here, the battery pack I've already showed you. This is some of the stuff that I've already bought. So I've got hiking tennis shoes, and they got some special footwear, good traction. Got Dr. Scholl's in there. Guys, I've had so many issues with my feet since I've started all this. I've got special socks. These are actually Dr. Scholl's socks, and I've got a few more pairs of these. What these do is for whatever reason, they prevent blisters, but they also, even though they look really warm, they kind of keep your feet cool. And for however they do it, I don't know, understand the technology. They stop me from getting blisters. Then I've got my ankle high hiking boots. Just got these ones. Still got to test these. These only have about 6 miles on them so far. So gonna put them to the test tomorrow. But high ankle support, I think that's gonna be good because I have learned since I've been walking over the rocks and everything that is something that I'll need. I got my own Mr. Wilson. So I'm bringing a basketball. Guys, this is about having fun and just enjoying life. So I like shooting baskets. So I'm hoping that some of these places that I stop, I'll find a basketball hoop, or maybe I'll make it a purpose to just, or my intention to actually go find a basketball hoop. So I'm gonna blow that bad boy up. Obviously it's not a Wilson, so his name is Phantom. How scary is that? And then I got to pump some extra needles because as you can see, he's flat right now. Get some air in him. Got some maps and something I'm going to show you here in just a second. I got binoculars, so I can either, spy on wildlife or look ahead and see, what kind of road or difficult situations I might be dealing with. Those will come in handy. Then I'm taking Route 66. So I've got my Route 66. It's a special map dedicated to Route 66, America's Highway. This is supposed to have popular stopping points. It's up to date. It's everything that is along the way on Route 66. So my intentions are to take Route 66. It goes from the coast, California, all the way up to Chicago. Now I'm not going all the way to Chicago. I'll actually turn north around Texarkana and head towards Kansas City, probably somewhere. I obviously don't want to walk on I-35, but somehow or another I'll take I-35 up into Kansas City. One of the key critical pieces of work here, I've got a survival handbook. So I actually bought this specifically in the intent of being a survivalist. So even though this mission is to get to Kansas City and launch a new project, just in case, you never know, if I run out of food or whatever, water, this tells me everything. It tells me all the different vegetation out there, what's edible. So that says edible plants. And then it has the different climates. So it has high desert, mountains, all the different areas that I'll be walking through. I'll know what vegetation I can look for to eat. I'll know what vegetation I can look for to help heal, which is cool. I'll learn how to build traps. Here's a part right here, building traps. So I can either trap for fish. I am going to bring a fishing pole. I didn't bring that inside, but if I need to trap for fish or even just like little animals or anything, if I'm running out of food and I, have to become full-on survivalist, I have basically the survival Bible. Okay, then just in case I do get sidetracked from Route 66, there are parts of the highway, the old highway, that are stripped out. As you guys know, I-40 kind of takes on most of what Route 66 used to, through California, through Arizona, New Mexico, and then some parts of Texas. So there's a long part of my journey that I'll have to find different routes around Route to get back to Route 66. So I've got an actual road atlas, and it has every state in here. So I just flipped through Arkansas, might hit a corner of Arkansas. There's Iowa eventually. So I'll know exactly, I just have to turn to the state that I'm in, and I'll know exactly what road I'm on and how to map that out. One of the cool things that I'm going to do with Route 66 is to make sure that I'm planned and organized. I'm actually going to go through using a 30-mile radius, and along Route 66 I'm going to find 3 key stopping points. I'm going to look for every campsite, I'm going to look for every rest area, and every Love's travel stop along Route 66. The idea being, at Love's I can replenish any food, water, ice, stuff like that I may need, even possibly take a shower. The campsites and the rest areas, of course, just to have somewhere that I can possibly stay a night or two, kind of get my group, get my bearings. My intentions are to walk 6 days, take a day off, walk 6 days, take a day off. But in the event that I do suffer an injury or anything like that, I want to make sure that I know a good area that I can actually stay a few nights and heal or recover. So you guys are sitting on the tripod. I got the tripod box right here. That's all going to be packed up with me so I can do still shots, as well as having my mobile phone that I can actually take around and do video shots. So all part of the streaming. I've got this here pump. It's a bike pump, I think, really. But the tires, the heavy duty tires that I have on the wagon, just in case I get a flat, I can pump those up. I'm also, what's not pictured here in this organized chaos is a set of tools. So I'm going to bring like a socket wrench set, pliers, stuff like that. I'm also thinking about getting some kind of patching system in case whatever. Just planning for emergencies. Is if I lose the wagon, I'm going to be in deep trouble because I won't be able to pull all this stuff. So one of my favorite things that I've gotten recently are the knives. Got this knife from my son. It actually says my name on it, which is pretty cool. He got that for me last year. So I don't, this is more of a gift that I just want to take with me. I may use it to like sharpen spears, or who knows. I'll learn more in that survival handbook if I want to carve something to make a trap or whatever, cut rope. I also have another handy dandy knife that came with my Rambo knife, which I'm really excited to show you. Check this bad boy out. One of the supplies I've got on order that I've got to get is a grindstone, so I can actually sharpen this knife to be as sharp as I want, but that's my Rambo knife. Pretty excited about. So just in case any bears or wolves want to have a conversation, we'll see if old Rambo wants to come out and make sure that I'm safe. So I got my Rambo knife, and hopefully that, you never know. Humans are probably going to be the most dangerous animal I encounter. Then I've got my machete. I'm pretty excited about that. I can cut branches, logs, whatever, when I am in a situation to build fire, so I can cut like that. I'm going to sharpen this, obviously, with the grindstone too. Watched a little bit of Naked and Afraid and know how to trap and cut a snake's head off, because I do not do snakes. I'll tell you what, this is going to come in handy if I come across a snake. For those of you who love snakes, I'm sorry, but snakes are the devil. So they get their heads chopped off. This is my traveling hat. You've already seen it a few times in some of my training videos. The whole purpose of this hat is to keep the sun off of me as much as possible. Although I love the sun and the sun has many healing qualities, you can also suffer from the sun. Overexposure can lead to dehydration, malnutrition, all of it. You don't want to have a bad sunburn when you're walking 1,400 miles across the country. Let's see what else. Now we're down to the books. So in one of my shoe boxes here, I've got several different composition books and a journal. I already said I'm bringing the laptop, so I'll be doing my daily blog, my Rumi collection. These are great. I use this for the blog a lot. I'll find a quote or something, go on a spin cycle in the head thinking about what that means or how I interpret it, and then put my perception out there, my stream of consciousness, if you will. That's kind of what my blog is all about. And the books. So one of the reasons why I'm doing this, so I struggle with mental health, right? So depression, anxiety. I went to rehab a few years back in 18, and doing that, I was inpatient for 3 weeks. I learned that I struggle, obviously, with mental health. And depression, anxiety, we kind of already knew about. But I was informed, or kind of started studying and learning, that I'm codependent. We're also looking at borderline personality disorder. And, I don't know how long I don't go to the doctor, so I don't know how long I've had these traits or how it accumulated or what it is. But instead of being afraid of it and running from it, I'm going to learn how to embrace it. And one of the ways of doing that, the whole purpose of walking into the wilderness, is to truly put myself in a situation where it's adapt, become what my higher purpose intended for me to be, or, worst case scenario, let's not talk about it, but I could die. So one of the things, the most important book that I'm bringing is the Bible. And for me, this is something that I'd never read or even attempted to read until 2020 happened. But the first book I ever read out of the Bible is the book of Revelations, because when the whole world shut down in 2020, it scared me enough that I wanted to see if we were upon the end of days. Don't want to scare you or get into more of that, but I have now officially read 90% of the Bible. I'm pretty proud of that. And when I am feeling low or having my highs and lows, I'm going to make sure that I keep my relationship with God very close. All these books are books that I wanted to read forever. And they're leatherback, so they last forever. And my intentions are to one day hand them down to my children. This is my pride and joy. This is my pride. If there's anything that I own that I love the most, it's my collection of books. And I've always told everybody, I am going to be a great writer one day. And just having a hard time fighting the demons inside of me to actually sit down and become a writer. But one of the things that I know for a fact is, in order to be a writer, you got to be a great reader first. So I'm looking forward to reading all these books. I've got Nicholas Sparks, who I've told several girls that I probably am the next Nicholas Sparks, so I don't want to be a liar, so I better read Nicholas Sparks so I know how to write him. I've got War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy, obviously one of the larger books ever written. I've got some Greek collections. It's one of my favorite. I've got Ancient Greek Philosophers. One of my favorite writings of all time is by Plato, The Apology. It's about Socrates and his trial and persecution. It's pretty interesting. I think that Socrates is one of my heroes, so I am really looking forward to reading the rest of the Greek philosophy, and also kind of seeing how it cross-compares to my spirituality, my unconsciousness, my understanding of God and everything. So really looking forward to that. Got Jack London. I mean, we're going outdoors, so we're going to have to read some Jack London, understand, Call of Duty, Call of the Wild, all that good stuff. I got Scott Fitzgerald. I'm actually working on a biography of my father that I'm going to do from my perspective in first person. So The Great Gatsby is probably one of the best books ever written in first person. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to read that, was to kind of see what a successful writer looks like in first person. I already showed you that one. The Divine Comedy. So this is Dante's perception of hell through Homer, I believe, was the poet, the ancient poet that he, anyways, I'm looking forward to reading that. Another, like, as you can see, there's a lot of spirituality within these books as well. Mark Twain, of course. Got to read a little Mark Twain, one of the greatest authors of all time. Got Jules Verne's complete collection, or at least his most famous writings, so looking forward to read Jules Verne. And then I've got the complete works of William Shakespeare. So I say to girls or whatever, and maybe this was an attempt to hit on them or something in the past, I say I was going to be the next Nicholas Sparks, but let's be honest, anybody who's as hopeless romantic as I am inspires me to be the next William Shakespeare. I also believe Tupac in a way. Tupac Shakur was possibly in his own right voice for Shakespeare. Okay, so I think I've about got everything. Here's a cooler, obviously, to whatever foods I might have that I need to keep cool, or beverages, ice packs, whatever that looks like. I'm going to be bringing 2 tubs. I'm sure you're looking at all this stuff. I was like, how the hell are you going to carry all this stuff 1,400 miles? I've got 2 tubs just like this. Well, one I plan on putting food in. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if it's going to be too hot or whatever. But obviously I don't want these books to get ruined, so that's definitely going to go in a tote. And the blankets and stuff like that, the pillows, probably on top or whatever that looks like. Obviously the tarp will have the bungees over it to protect everything, and I'm going to build the wagon next. I can't wait for you guys to see the wagon. Seriously, come check it out.
Guys, I've been excited to show you this. Check it out. This is the make or break. This is the thing that's going to make my dream come true. A heavy-duty wagon. Big tires. I'm going to build it now. This is what I'm going to tote everything around instead of having a big old hike. I'm pretty excited about this. This is the X Factor right here, baby. Yeah. We've done it. And now we have a device to hold all of our stuff. Everything I own or is precious to me, besides my children, are going to fit in that wagon. And I'm going to pull it around for 1,400 miles. Prescott Valley, Arizona, to Kansas City, Missouri, and then to Des Moines. Let's see how she works.
Oh. Hey guys. As you can see here, I'm planning the plan. This is a map of Route 66, both sides. And I'm planning my trip in increments of 20 miles. Why I'm doing this, I'm marking my stops and planning each day accordingly. I'm color coding the stops on the map and then labeling them, so I know what tomorrow brings. For example, blue indicates a Love's or a Flying J, so that I can replenish my food, perhaps get a shower. And then in red, I'm marking all my campsites. Some of these will actually be real campsites, and some will not, just camping in the wilderness. But as much as possible, I'm planning the trip based upon access to water and food. Then in black, I'll also have all the rest areas along the route. When I get to Kansas, I'll need to turn north and start heading towards Kansas City, so I'll be off of Route 66. But I have the road atlas to help me finish the plan. For the kids, a road atlas is an old school way to navigate a road trip. Well, I better get going. Lots to do. I need to finish the rest of the plan and record my stops in this composition book. I need to get my fat ass back to training. My weight loss has been slowed due to how busy I am. That's the way of the world, isn't it? Perhaps between episodes, you can consider how you're going to stay focused on yourself. With our busy schedules, how do we prioritize fitness and nutrition above all else? Think about it. Until next time, heroes, we'll see you out there. No way. 277 again. What a coincidence. It's a magic number on the ride here.